guys, what's up? It's your girl Kelly, and I am back with you guys here once again as promised. It is Monday evening. Thank you so much for joining me here. Welcome to Unbecoming podcast. And guys, if you're new here, I hope you'll hit that subscribe button and join us. And if you're not new here, thank you so much for coming back. We love to see it. As always, guys, I'm really excited for this video. So I really hope if you're new here, guys, please subscribe because there will be more to come of this type of video, hopefully. And I'm really jazzed about this one. This is going to be something new. This is going to be a little bit more personal, a little bit more, a little bit more in depth, because we're delving into a subject that is very near and dear to my heart and I care a lot about. And it's one that I hope to bring more awareness to. So we're going to get right on into it, guys. Hopefully this video will not be too long. And I hope you stick around with me until the end. And guys, please like, subscribe, comment, do it all. Let's interact, guys. We're going to be having a lot more conversations, hopefully a lot more dialogue between all of our sides. We're trying to save a country here, guys. That's what we're doing, okay? And either get with it or, move along down the road, So I hope you guys are here for it. And let me know what you think in the comments down below after this video. So a quick little, a quick little intro to this video. There was an event, okay? So you guys know I just moved from Texas back to my home state of Louisiana. But being that I've lived in Texas for like half of my life, I grew up out here in Louisiana. I'm from Louisiana, but I've lived in Texas for like roughly, a good portion of my life. Maybe not half, but a good portion. So that's like my second home. It's near and dear to my heart, and specifically Houston, and more specifically Katy is where I actually grew up. I went to high school out there, and it means a lot to me. And you know what else means a lot to me, guys, is protecting these kids, y'all. It means so much to me because I truly feel like, the kids are the most important thing that we need to shelter, protect, give love to, give structure to. We need to save this country for the youth of this country because we're passing it along to them. And it's important, guys. It really is. So it means a lot to me. I'm sure you guys know my thoughts about all the trans stuff that goes on in the schools. We're not here for it. We don't love to see it. And more so than that, we're vehemently against it. So when I heard about an event that was happening in Katy, Texas, my home away from home stomping grounds, well, you guys know I just had to be there. And I had to show up and make my voice heard, even though my voice is still, like, somewhat going out. Like, I still was like, you know what? Even if I can't talk, I still need to go and make my voice heard. So that's exactly what I did, guys. I attended my first drag queen protest out in Katy, Texas at a quote-unquote Christian church, okay? This is where this event was being held, and it just didn't sit right with my soul. And I told myself, if there's any events where I can go and show my support and show, which side that I'm on, and basically show up for the kids. Oh my God, here they go. Sorry, y'all. They don't like this child grooming shit either. These wiener dogs are not with it. They are cut from the same cloth as me. So I had to go and show my support, y'all. So that's exactly what I did. So I first heard about this event on The Blaze, and there was going to be some sort of infiltration happening, but that did not work out. So I was in communication with Sarah Gonzalez from The Blaze at one point, and we were trying to infiltrate the event, but it just did not work out that way. I think they actually ended up catching wind of something happening and shut the shit down. And so apparently whenever I showed up for this event, I heard, or I think from the news, I heard that only church members were allowed to attend the event. So they sold tickets online to the general public, but then ended up getting scared and revoking that and basically backtracking and saying, oh no, we're only selling tickets to our members. So unfortunately, we were not able to get into the event and infiltrate it, but I still wanted to show up. So I drove 4 hours from where I lived in Louisiana, and I showed up, guys, to this event in Katy, Texas. And this is my story of what went down. And it was a little bit different than what I thought it was going to be. I really wanted to go over to the other side and possibly have a civil discourse with some of these people to try to see, you know, if I could interview people, get their thoughts, but it just did not work out that way, guys. Once I got there, I realized how big of a thing that it was, and so I ended up just pretty much just staying on the side of the protesters, which was fine. It ended up being great. It was a great time, and I just wanted to share with you guys some of the videos I took, some of the pictures I took, and let you know how this went, and hopefully inspire some of you guys to protest these sorts of things that might be happening locally around you. So we're going to get right on into it, and I'm going to start with some of the videos that I actually took at this event, and we're going to get right on into it. Please bear with me, guys, because I was trying to figure out how to upload these videos, and it was a shit show. Quite frankly, it's a work in progress here on Streamlabs, and I'm learning every single day. But we're gonna try to get it right on together, and show you guys what I have to show you. So here we go, y'all. This first video is wait, actually, let's start with this one, because I want to just show y'all that as soon as we pulled up to the event, pretty much, this is what happened. And it just goes to show you what kind of people are on the other side when this is what happens, guys. So this side just got maced. Everyone, somebody in the car just drove by and maced everyone who's standing on this side. Somebody in a car, like, sprayed mace out the window, and everyone who was standing right here, like, started coughing and, like, you know, it was irritating. It was out of a car. Somebody in a car did that. Yeah.
I think the people in masks are likely to be that. I'm suspicious of anybody.
Yeah, it was worse.
Excuse me.
So that's my buddy Paul.
Yeah, so we're getting fucking maced, and the cops don't give a shit. They don't give a fucking shit. Hey, we're getting fucking maced over here. Excuse the language, y'all.
Where was it? Further down that way?
Yeah, it was further down that way. And they don't give a fuck. The cops don't care.
Did y'all see which vehicle?
No, we didn't see. Like, because by the time they'd already passed, it was too late.
I wonder what that was.
And please excuse the language, y'all, in some of these videos. I was quite fired up, and it's obvious in these videos, you know, just how enraged I was feeling, and I just got a little worked up. So please excuse language. I don't mean to curse like this, but I'm working on it every single day. And sometimes when you're dealing with pedophiles and freaks, it just comes out. Okay. So here is the part 2 to that. As soon as we got there, like maybe within 20 minutes of us getting there, and I was with a friend. Somebody, and there was people that were driving past us, like we were separated by a median. So the group of LGBT freaks were on one side, and then there was a median with heavily armed cops in the middle, and then we were on the other side of the street. So there was cars driving by on both sides, and most of the honking that you'll hear is like supporters of our side. And but there were some people who were driving past us, the protesters, and were giving us the finger, or screaming out the window obscenities at us, and quite angry that they could not perform their religion of grooming kids and just being sick freaks. So they were very mad. And then there was one car that drove by and literally sprayed out the window of their vehicle mace on our crowd, probably 20 minutes after we got there. And so at first I was like, oh, well, wow. Like when I heard people were walking towards us saying that they had just been maced, I was like, oh my God, like who could have done that? And then by the time I realized what had happened, it was already hitting me. And my eyes started to burn and I started to cough. And so that's when we kind of like walked further down the road and we're trying to get away from the area in which they had maced. So this is like the second part to that. This is just more footage from my side and what was going on right after getting maced by a car full of Antifa and LGBTQ sympathizers. People are still coughing because of the mace. This is fucking bullshit.
When we die, go to heaven, we're not going to be judged.
And, okay, so I don't know if you guys can tell, but I will say this. Apparently there was some quote-unquote Aryan Brotherhood or KKK members that were there, and there was also like other, prevalent groups, which I'm sure you guys would recognize, like the Proud Boys. The Patriot Front group was also there in attendance, and I just want to say that, when I was told that there was KKK members in attendance for this protest, I was like, you know what? Why? Because I'm not racist by any means, and I am not afraid to say that. I'm not afraid to boldly say that because it's true, and it's not right to be racist. To just hate somebody based off of their skin color is ugly, and it is not godlike, and people that do that should be ashamed of themselves and should not really be in polite society. It is one thing to make commentary or to just to point out things that are going on within certain races, like to just point out that black folks act a certain way, Jewish folks act a certain way, white folks, whatever you want to say. It's fine to make generalizations or even to make racist jokes, to me all of those things are fine and they should be allowed. But to actually have disdain and hate in your heart for an entire racial group is gross to me. So I disavow, of course, all KKK members that were there. I didn't actually see them. I did see like that AFN flag that was in that last video. I don't know what that is. Some of those guys, I had no idea, what groups they were there representing. I just know what I was doing there, and I was there to speak out against the grooming of children and the act of allowing gay drag queens to perform inside of a quote-unquote Christian church. It's disgusting. There is a time and a place for drag shows, and those times and those places are inside of bars or 18 and older establishments, and they are without the presence of children. And I don't think that's too much to ask for. I don't think that is a far reach. So people that want to say that we're being hateful by protesting drag queen shows for kids, I don't want to hear it because you sound like a pedophile, okay? I'm sorry, why do you need to involve children? And why do you need to drag this, quite literally, drag this into Christianity when it has nothing to do with that. And we just all need to start just saying things like they are, even if they're uncomfortable, even if they make people uncomfortable. I'm sorry, the world is an uncomfortable place. So drag queen bingo has no place around children, and it has no place inside of a building that is claiming to be a Christian church. And this place, you might be able to see it in other videos. It did not look like a church. This looks like a house of horrors, honestly. And I mean that like quite literally. It looked like a house of horrors. So I just want to show you another video here. This person, and I think it was a guy, okay, was there the entire time we were there. And he was protesting on the other side, or he was advocating on the other side. And I just want to show you how this person was behaving in front of a quote-unquote Christian church, okay? So let's get into this one.
Like, hey, they don't got the balls to come over here.
No, literally. They don't have the balls because they've castrated themselves. Look at this freak. Okay, wait. Okay, hold up. I don't know if you guys can see that building in the background. I just want to pause it. Okay, you can't really see it, but the banner that is here in the middle, right behind there is the alleged church, okay? And it looks scary. Like my friend, as soon as I pointed the situation out to her and told her, like, because there's an actual looking church that is also right, I think it's a Methodist church that is right next door to this other building that looks like, I said, looks like a house, or it looks like a house of horrors. And that is supposedly the Christian church that is housing these debaucherous activities. And just look at this guy dancing. Like, you're dancing like that in front of a church. You're like, you know, just dancing provocatively in short shorts. Like, this is literally these people's religion. I mean, and that is the sickness of it all, is that whatever is going on here, it's not wholesome. It's not to protect kids that they purport that they want to protect. It is not for anything other than their own, you know, gluttonous activities. They are so filled with the spirit of Satan and the spirit of just like, you know, wanting to do whatever it is that they want to do, fulfill their most base desires. Like, it's sick. And they try to project it onto these children and make it seem like this is normal. This is not normal. Let's just replay this one more time just so you can see how this person is dancing in front of a church.
They don't got the balls to come over here.
No, literally. They don't have the balls because they've castrated themselves. And he's holding up a sign, okay, that says something like, protect trans kids, while you're shaking your ass in front of a church. No, they don't. What does any of these things have to do? What do any of these things have to do with one another? You, sir, what do you have to do with children, a Christian church, drag queens? Where do these things come together? They don't. It is just rubbing it in people's faces that are true Christians, that want to protect children. It's just pure, unadulterated madness, honestly. And it's just a middle finger into the faces of people who actually believe the teachings of Jesus Christ. And it's disgusting, honestly. So that video was one of the many just many things that we saw on the other side. So here's a couple more videos, and then I'm going to show y'all the news stories that came out about this event, and then we'll wrap it on up. Look at the manufactured signs over there. And then we have a guy with a rifle up there. Antifa over here. Look at how small their crowd is, though. It's so sad. I hate that for them. Tiny little crowd. Tiny. So small. And then we have ours over here coming in hot and deep. Coming in hot. And right here, these guys with the big banner sign, they were supposedly Patriot Front. They had Reclaim America and then patriotfront.us. I was always a little apprehensive of this group. You know, like, they've had a lot of Fed boy activity seemingly going on within their group. But these guys, I will say, were very nice. And they had, like, free bottled water they were handing out to our side. They were very respectful, very just accommodating, and I can't say anything bad about what I saw there. Now, this is not to say that there's not, like, Fed activity going on. I'm not going to go and join Patriot Front, you know, like, and I would not suggest for anyone else to. But I will say that this did give me a different view of that group, because the view that I had before was that it was straight Fed nonsense. So, but yeah, one thing I noticed off the top when I got there was these pre-printed signs. Like, they had signs that had nothing to do with the event at all. So, like, everyone on our side had, like, patriotic signs, or, like, stop grooming kids. There was a sign that said, like, stop being gay. You know, just, like a very on target, very on message, you know. And all of their pre-printed signs, and you see this a lot at leftist events, where these groups, you know, these leftist groups, will pre-print these signs. You know, they don't look homemade. They look like they were printed in a shop. And, you know, they have the leftist talking points. So there was, like, you know, something about abortion rights, something about Black Lives Matter. There is, like, stop fascism, smash the patriarchy, like, all this bullshit, just leftist talking points that had nothing to do with the event that they were so called there to support. So it makes you wonder, like, who is funding these people? Who is really funding the support for that side? Because you have these people that are coming out. You know, we made our signs. All of the signs that I saw on our side, besides, like, and even this Reclaim America banner, you know, it looked like they had made it. And all of the signs on the other side, for the most part, were all pre-printed. So if that does not give you pause right there, and it immediately struck me. I was like, this is so typical. Because I see this all the time at leftist events, where they have these signs that are just talking points. They have nothing to do with what it is the event is, you know, purporting to support. So why are you talking about abortion and Black Lives Matter at an event for drag queens for kids bingo? You know, it makes no sense. And it's honestly alarming, and it should tell you everything you need to know. So, okay, so there's that. And then I just want to get into a couple more videos. I did run into Taylor Hanson, which, if you guys don't know him, he is oftentimes on the Blaze, but more importantly, he is a very good reporter, I think. You know, he's been critical of getting a lot of good footage on the inside of these drag show events for kids. And more famously, he was actually the guy who was standing next to Ashley Babbitt whenever she got shot inside of the Capitol on January 6th and killed by that Capitol police officer. He was actually the one who was, like, shooting that footage, I believe. And he shot a lot of other great footage. He's a really good reporter. And he was there. I was able to meet him. There was another lady there who was, like, very angry at him for some reason. And they do show that on the news clip. But, I don't know. She was, like, yelling about how he, all he does is infiltrate events. And she doesn't know what side he's on. But it's like, lady, sometimes you have to infiltrate the other side if you want to get that good footage. Like, Taylor Hanson's a really good reporter. So I did see him there, and I just want to share. He was there interviewing people, like just literally just interviewing people. He was very nice also. Very nice. So as you can see, these are some of the, okay, just pause right there. There's a Muslim woman right here, which she actually interviewed us for her podcast, and I will give her a shout out here. Her name was Conservative Hannah, and she was very, very nice. There was Mexican people, there was black people. The diversity on our side, we were more diverse than their side. All they had was white liberals on their side. I did not see one black person. I did not see one Muslim person over there. And we had so young, old, we had so many different kinds of people there. And so it was a beautiful thing. I mean, I was so inspired after attending this event, y'all. So, let's see, here's one more video, or I'm sorry, 2 more videos, and then we'll get into the news stories.
Hey!
And all the honker people supporting us.
Shit.
All supporting us. Their sound was so.
You cops should be ashamed of yourselves.
It was so sad over there.
Why don't y'all protect the kids? Protect the kids! Protect the kids! Why don't you go protect the kids? Why don't you go protect the kids? How about that? Do your job.
So, I got like mad at the cops towards the end because they were like yelling at us to get off the roadway because we had so many people that like they didn't have to worry about the other side. There was literally 10 people over there, but he started screaming at people on our side to get off the roadway, and he wasn't talking to me because I was standing on the grass the whole time. But I got just mad because I'm like, your fat ass is over there sitting on a golf cart screaming at us like to get off the roadway. My guy, you're worried about the wrong things. You need to go in there, break up the event, and protect those children. Like, they're in there with grown men shaking their asses, asking for tips from children, and children should never be even introduced to drag queens. I'm sorry, this is an adult entertainment event. It's just not that hard to comprehend. So the fact that they were sitting here yelling at us when there was fuck shit, I'm sorry for the language, going on inside the building right behind them, it just really started to get me kind of angry. So I got a little mad with the cops, and this is the last video we're gonna get into of mine, and then we'll get into the news.
Antifa in the building.
So about maybe about after an hour and a half of being there, there was a little bit of Antifa on the other side, as I showed you guys in a previous video. But at this point, the Black Bloc Antifa members started to show up heavily. You know, and I say heavily, I mean like maybe 10 people. Maybe 10 Antifa members. So not really that heavy, but it was still heavy enough for us to be able to obviously see that it was Black Bloc Antifa showing up to this event to protect the trans predators and the groomers, as they always are known to do. So our side just started to point out the Antifa that were standing right behind this cop, and the cop did not care whatsoever. At one point, there was, I believe, Taylor Hanson and this other girl that I met, who I'll also shout out. Her name was Kaylee Campbell, and she's got a show as well. and they went over to that side just to kind of, I think, get some footage and talk to them. And this whole group of Antifa members started to go over to them and try to intimidate them. And it was ridiculous. The cops could have cared less. So we were trying to point out that, like, hey, there's domestic terrorists right behind you. Like, Antifa is right behind you. Do you care at all? And they really didn't.
And the cops are protecting them instead of protecting these kids. And we see you, Antifa. Look at their pathetic crowd. It's still so small. Oh my God, I hate that for them. Antifa's coming in hot. Protect the kids, not Antifa.
So yeah, guys. This lady at the end. Okay. So that is pretty much it for the videos that I got. So, and the whole event, although very energizing and very positive, it was also quite disheartening, just because how the cops were acting. They were acting like as if they were neutral, and it just drives you crazy, because it's like, where's your sense of doing the right thing? Like, where's your sense of, there are children that are being exposed to things that they should never be exposed to, sexualized portrayals of women via these male drag queens, and it's just not something that belongs in a church. It's not something that belongs in front of children, and it's just not something that belongs in polite society. Like, I'm not saying that drag queens or gay people should be banned, but there's a time and a place. And if we cannot agree that involving children is past the line, and trying to perpetuate this ideology inside of a Christian church is beyond the line, then quite frankly, there's no discussion to be had, because we're not backing down off of this one. We are not going to allow Christianity and the children to be taken advantage of, or to be molested in these ways. And I don't even mean, I mean molested in every sense of the word, you know. I just mean that, like, it's not right. So I do want to get into a couple of the news stories, or maybe even just one, because this video is getting a little long. But there was a few news stories that did pieces on what happened, and I do want to get into, and I just want to start with this. Fox 26 Houston. Let's look at the headline, guys, because these people are part of the problem. The media is a huge part of the problem, and how they portray these things is so blatantly, you know, they're hypocrites in every sense of the word. And not only that, they're just as bad as the people that are in there grooming and sexualizing children by writing up headlines like anti-LGBTQ protesters show up outside of drag bingo event at a church in Katy. So we're not anti-LGBTQ protesters. We are anti-grooming kids and anti-making a mockery of Christianity. Okay, so get it right. You make it sound like we're out there filled with hate, and maybe some people were, but I am not one of those people. I am not one of those people. I don't care what you do as an adult. You know, I think I have an opinion on it, but I don't care ultimately. And I will not go out there and protest against gays just for being gay. No, I don't care about that. But once you start to involve kids, and once you start to make a mockery of my faith, Christianity, then I have a problem. So this headline automatically strikes me as unfair and biased. But what can you expect from, fake news? So let's get into this clip. Oh, let's start it over.
Abuser. Victim has now been sentenced after police say she killed her alleged abuser.
Oh my God.
Fox's
Girl,
Jonathan
what?
Seri had this story.
A teenager from Iowa who killed one of the men accused of trafficking and raping her, sentenced to 5 June of 2020.
I'm sorry.
You know, I made
Let me refresh
poor
this.
decisions that day.
Girl, please stop.
Getting in the
Please stop. Okay. Sorry, guys. So let's try this one more time. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. Okay, it's an ad. I mean, we're gonna keep it muted. But I hope y'all saw that freeze frame. That guy, that beta boy. He's full of soy in his diet, and he was wearing a Beto shirt.
Good evening to you. I'm Tom Ziska. We are glad to have you with us. We begin tonight with a heavy
what? No. Come again?
Traffic around a church in Katy that hosted a drag queen bingo event that welcomed
Oh my God.
people of all ages.
Buffer me not.
And angered a couple hundred protesters.
A couple hundred?
26's Sherman
You're damn
Sell
right.
was there. He shows us what happened.
What we saw here tonight in front of this church in Katy are two passionate groups of people. One aiming to provide a place of safety for everyone.
One small and one large.
The other making sure to advocate for children in the community.
Yeah. Look at the size of the group, y'all. Just want y'all to see, and this is like an angle that's like actually it doesn't show the full story, but then when they swing over, just notice the other side. Small.
Shots from both sides of this block on Morton Ranch Road as a scheduled event happens inside a First Christian Church in Katy.
Look at the guy. Look at the guy. Look at the guy. He has not a drop of potent semen left in his sack. And I'm sorry to be so graphic. That's disgusting. But he just doesn't. I know it. I can tell by looking at him.
A place of worship known for accepting members of the LGBTQ community and their
Look
families.
at the physiognomy. Look at the physiognomy of the crowds, guys.
Drag bingo event open to all ages, followed by an adults-only event Saturday evening. It benefits Transparent Closet, a free clothing store for trans and teens in the area.
Look at the
But the event was met with much opposition
signs.
on both sides. A couple hundred protesters, many equipped with
on
signs.
both sides, a couple hundred. No, there was no more than 25 people on the other side. I swear to God. On our side, yes, a couple hundred, absolutely. And look, here I am. Y'all, that's me. In the Make America Great Again hat. Right
Horns
there.
and some rifles made their presence known. Jeff tells us when he saw protesters were planning to show up, he decided to come out.
As soon as I saw the postman, I packed up my car and head over here. Regardless of whether there's kids here or not, man, this is the parents' choice to come out here and bring their kids.
Ew, full of soy.
Matt says his group was here to show their support for the youth in attendance. He says parents are pushing their own beliefs and agendas on the children and the community.
No one minds when two adults make up their mind together.
And what
we mind is when they sell it to our teenagers. They can't keep it where it's at. It's always.
I'm sorry. I don't want to talk about it on my own side, but the people they chose to interview were so funny. It was so biased. This news report was so biased.
It's a moving goalpost.
There was also a heavy police presence. Harris County Sheriff's deputies monitoring in riot gear. There were small fights and arguments in the crowds, but no injuries or arrests have been reported. As the planned event went on, community members from both sides of a nationwide heated argument on heated arguments from both sides. Event went on. Community members from both sides of a nationwide heated argument insist on speaking out.
Do you think that your presence here
will impact groups like this to stop doing what they're doing?
It never does. It never does. The goal of something
This
like
person
this
holding the
is
sign
for all
upside
the
down
people here and
in
all
the
the people
background.
watching your station.
I love us.
To say, okay, here's what's going on.
Regardless of how many of these people show up, it don't matter. I'm not here to hate on them. I'm here to support them and show that they have support.
Now, there's not as nearly as many protesters that have remained on this site since the sun has set, but some are still around as the event continues inside of First Christian Church.
Gross.
Tonight is the adult-only event.
Yeah, it should have stayed an adult-only event. So that's hilarious. That was from Fox 26 News, and I do just want to get into this other news outlet, KQ11, that also reported on this, and I thought their reporting was quite interesting as well. So let's get into this one. If it'll ever play. Oh god, here we go. No thank you for the ads. These ads kill me, y'all. Okay, here we go.
Dueling rallies were held outside of a Katy church as it hosted an all-ages drag queen bingo night. Anayeli Reese joined
Oh my god.
with the latest on this one. Anayeli?
Well, that's right, Marcelino. Today was meant to be a fundraiser for a church program that provides free clothes to transgender youths and young adults. But outside building was a political charged arena. Tensions were very high today outside the First Christian Church
love that for him.
This after the church was to host a drag queen
Look at these freaks! Look at these freaks!
It's advertised as a way to raise money.
These are people in the, like, look at that! Look at that building! Looks like a rape cabin. Or a rape shed, I don't know, but it's gross. And then there's a man here in a skirt and boots. Boots, okay? Boots on the ground. I don't like it. No, thank you. Don't bring your kids around this. Don't put this in front of kids, other people's kids. You people are sick.
A free clothing boutique for teens and young adults.
No adult entertainers for children, period. I don't care if they're dressed like a Disney princess. It's inappropriate for children.
That's nonsense because
That's
drag in itself is just
Girl,
a costume.
what?
It's no different than someone dressing up
Girl.
like a superhero at a comic book convention or something.
Can you please
a
not?
Halloween costume.
Protesters on both sides showed up to voice their opinions. Both sides heavily armed with people not backing down. Each side yelling at each other with megaphones. One side even fighting with each other.
Okay, this is... This was the lady right here who was confronting Taylor Hanson, and I don't know what her beef was. I don't know, she seemed angry. I didn't like the vibes coming off of her. I have no problem with Taylor Hanson. I think he's great. So I was a little bit confused as to what this little squabble was about, but, you know, whatever.
In the middle of the chaos, one group singing chants and praying.
Yeah, that was our group.
Heavily armed officers formed a line in the median trying to keep the sides separate. As the crowds grew, more and more officers arrived. No one besides church members were allowed on the property. The media was not allowed to film the bingo, but they did share these pictures with us.
Look at this. Look at this. What is going on here? Like, I don't even see that many kids. Here's one right here. But, like, where do you people get off doing this? And I'm going to show you guys the church's Facebook page after this.
These pictures with
but
us.
this is,
The
like,
pastor
unnecessary.
says the event was a sold-out success.
We know that not everyone
Look at this freak.
So we create a place for people to feel welcome and understand that there will always be people who don't agree with us.
Well, the church also hosted a drag show event just for adults after the bingo. Lots of law enforcement on scene did try to keep things calm. We even saw a helicopter flying overboard. Now, we also saw protesters on both sides of the argument getting very aggressive towards the media.
And you see, that's bullshit. I call bullshit on that. I don't know what the fuck she's talking about. I did not see that at all. But yeah, I mean, and so as you can see, it doesn't really make a difference, like how graphic the content was that they were pushing at this event. Like both of those drag queens that they showed seem to be fully covered, but it does not negate the point that we're trying to make, which is these people are shoving this in our faces, and it's not okay. And if you don't like it and you're not okay with the direction that this country is going and the direction that these freaks are trying to push you into by pushing this onto kids and trying to involve kids, then you have to make your voice heard one way or another, because it's not okay. It doesn't matter. It's a slippery slope, and we have slid all the way down this hill, quite frankly, into scary ass territory. So one last thing I want to show you before we get out of here is the Facebook page of this so-called church. Okay, this was the flyer, but just look at this. Look at this Facebook page. Okay, First Christian Church, Katy, Disciples of Christ, and right off the bat, we have the gay flag. But it's not just the regular gay flag. It's the one with the trans and the black propaganda smushed on in there, just to try to make everyone's victimhood one and the same. And it's just disgusting. It does not belong in a church. If you want to make the church of LGBTQ a thing, go do that. But don't slap Christianity onto it, and in the process, you know, you're slapping every single Christian in the face, and it's not right. So it's like, I want to eventually go through these videos that they post, but just look at this altar. Look at this. Like, this is not okay in any sense of the word. So let me know what you guys think. Sorry, this video was a little bit longer, but you know, I just wanted to go over these videos, let you guys know what I was getting into over the weekend, and I want to hopefully make this a more, like a more frequent thing that happens. Anytime I hear of any of these type of events, I plan to be there, and I plan to make my voice heard, and I hope you guys will too, because we have to save these kids, and it's what's right for this country. So let me know in the comments, guys. Please like this video if you liked it. Please subscribe, comments. Let me know what y'all think, guys. And I hope to be covering another event soon. But in the meantime, y'all, I will see you guys later. And bye-bye.